Hey everybody, welcome back to Tenza Motorsports. Today I want to do an update video and talk about doing some interior lights. We are inside our 2002 M3 shell that we have put an M54 B30 motor in. Before we get into today's content and show what we've been doing the last couple of days, make sure you are subscribed to our channel. Make sure you like today's video if you enjoy this type of content, and also make sure that you are following us on Instagram, Tenza_Motorsports, and in the description below of this video, we'll have the build sheet for this car. Now, there is one thing I want to show real quick before we get into what we're going to be building today is our toggle switch panel, which just got done recently. Ta-da! And you've already seen this in previous videos if you've been watching this stuff. I don't have it bolted down all the way because these screws aren't quite long enough. This is a little bit thicker than the carbon fiber panel in my race car, but check this out. So the key, and now all of this works. Something just happened there. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Emergency stop that controls these. So yeah, there's the fan. You've got your USB charging right here, underneath there. And yeah, we're getting pretty close to getting some stuff done. Now, this LED right here, these ones, we're going to be putting those on the top of the car. Now, these may look familiar because if you've been watching our content, these are inside the headlights as well, which is controlled by this switch here. Now, these right here are pink, and they are directional, so they only point out this side that's pink. So you can see the sides are white, and the back is white. So what we're going to be doing is putting them up here along the top and have them pointed down. We'll do a strip on this side and a strip on the passenger side. In another video, we talked about Nilight and their products that we put in my race car. The reason we did that is because my race car does not have interior lights in it anymore because it's been completely stripped out. This car, we did leave some of the wiring. So there's a wire right here. So we'll be able to use this wire and the corresponding one on the other side to run an LED strip across the top. We'll just make sure it runs with the interior lights. So when you shut the door, that light turns off. We'll make sure that this LED strip follows these lights that sit underneath here. That side's not hooked up, but there's one right there. You can see it running. Nilight is a fantastic product. I'll have that linked in the description below alongside the video that we did for them. I really enjoyed those, and I said in that video that because it comes with a whole bunch of strips, I'm like, I'm not going to be using all of these. The downside is that in order to get pink, you have to basically change the color percentages on each of the lights. And for this car, my wife wants it to only be pink. So either I did straight red, and then we brought the system over here just so she could do straight pink, or we paid, I can't remember how much these are. These are not very expensive. I'll have them linked in the description below, but I bought a whole bunch of strips of these, and I think I'm in the whole thing like 20 bucks or something like that, and they're very bright. I get worried about LEDs online because they say, oh, super bright, and you get them, and it's like, yeah, even in a dark room, it's like you can't even hardly see anything. But these are absolutely fantastic. One thing we did notice is that you see how there's two different shades? This is from the same manufacturer, so you've got to be careful because, yeah, you can see that those are not exactly the same shade of pink. So that was a bit of a downside, but luckily enough, I've got two of the same pink. So there's these right here. So anyways, Nilight's good stuff. I really enjoyed them. If you want to change the color of your car with a remote, I know it's kind of complicated. All this wiring, it's always complicated, and it's very difficult to explain everything on video. You have a brown, and then you have two power wires. One of these runs alongside the door, and then one's a constant, and that's so that there is a light back here that when you click it, it turns on, and then there's another one back here that when the lights are on in the interior, they're on as well. So one of these is controlled by the door and the other one is on all the time. So what we'll do is take these two right here. It's the ground and the one right next to the ground. And hopefully the other side is the same here. And that's all we're doing, like super simple process. A little bit of an update with the fuel cell. So as you can see, it's propped up right now. I'm leaking out of the AN fittings. and I'm not sure what's going on. The tank might be having issues. So the car does start. There is our fuel pump relay. The car does start, but it's kind of jank right now. But we are getting some of this stuff buttoned down and getting it to the position where we can drive without stuff flying all over the place. And if you haven't seen the video already where we do the tuning on this car, we did it through RevMatch. Make sure to check that out too. I'll have that linked. That is a fantastic tune so far. We haven't done any driving yet, but it starts. Everything is like we're hoping it would be. Awesome experience. Make sure you check out RevMatch. I think that's revmatch.motorsport on Instagram if you're looking at tuning any E46. I don't know what other BMWs he tunes, but I know for a fact that he is basically the expert, the guy for the E46 chassis. So let's get these lights wired up and we'll see how it looks. All right, so interior lights are done. We have the driver's side and then the passenger side. And from here, you can, well, not see the strip. It's kind of cool because it's hidden up in there. Let's open the door real quick here and show what those look like. We want it to be a soft color. We don't want it to be like overly powered, which is why we're only doing the 2 strips. Now, when we do a wink mirror, because we're gonna get rid of the M3 one, it's full of fluid and yeah, we're gonna put a racing mirror in here. We might do another strip on the back side of it, pointing down to give some more light over here. But for right now, that's what's going on. I think those look way cool inside there. The other thing that I wanna talk about that we'll be doing, the floor of this pink. Now we've got some grip tape. We're gonna take the grip tape and put it where you put your feet, right here. So maybe about 6 inches out and then up. So the last thing we're gonna be doing tonight is getting the bottom of this prepped for paint, meaning the rest of this needs to be removed, so whatever's left, and then we're going to be wiping the inside of this, all this leftover glue, sticky tar stuff. We'll be wiping most of that out with some lacquer thinner. We're going to be covering these wires because I'm not going to be painting the wires, obviously. So yes, very excited. She's excited. We're going to get that started. All right, so we are all clean on the inside, wiped everything down, got a lot of the tar off. You can see there's still a little bit, but it's enough that when we go to paint it, it won't be super like bumpy or anything like that. Grip tape, this is the 3M safety walk. And what we'll be doing is having Kai sit in the other car and then putting her feet up to see exactly where you're gonna be putting your feet. We're just gonna have this roughly where you'd be setting your feet while you ride along and while you drive. And that way we will keep the pink from being underneath the heels of your shoes because it would wear through the paint if you were constantly stepping on it. So we'll have some grip tape, and it also keeps you from sliding around while you're driving and riding along. Once we get that placed, we are gonna be doing just a little bit of prep, make sure that we're not painting any wires and that we're not painting the grip tape that we just put down. So yeah, we're gonna get that done. It looks absolutely crazy on camera, but it is very pink. We put down our grip tape. We did the edge of it, taped it all off. It looks like it turned out pretty good around the edge there. The other side's a little bit worse, but it's only because we were just trying to get so much pink back up behind there so that we weren't missing anything. And so now that we've got it looking like this, I'm gonna make sure that these threads here are cleaned off and I can pop this wire harness back in. There's a couple spots I need to touch up, but we're pretty much done with this. So I'm gonna put the interior back together. It is not this bright in person. On the camera, it's like a hot pink, and in person, it's just a pink. So I'm not sure why it's coming out to be that strong on camera. But anyways, the rest of today's video is gonna go as follows. We're gonna put a bunch of the interior back together and then we'll be done for today. That is a big update. The car is a fuel cell away from running. So the fuel cell is ready to go. We just need to have one that doesn't leak at the AN fitting. So I'm not sure what happened there, but they just, no matter what I did, they would leak. If I went tighter, they'd leak more. If I went loose, they would leak a little bit less, and then they would leak more as you start to get hand tight. So I'm not sure what was going on with those, but it's okay, whatever. The seats are over here. They are just the standard 325 seats. So these are the seats out of the wagon. They are in physically good condition. They're not any crazy sport seats or anything, but they're just kind of the basic manual seats. I don't have to worry about any electric harnesses or anything like that on it. And yeah, so they'll be pretty simple to put in. Around the bottom of the car really isn't that intrusive. Once you get seats in here and you're just kind of sitting here, you do see glimpses of it, but it's not like in your face. It's much more subtle than I thought it was going to be. When we were painting the bottom of the car and I finally saw it with all the lights turned on, I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be crazy. But got the shifter, the shift knob on, got the e-brake working right. I'm missing a bracket that holds this. I think it goes here and then connects. I think there's 2 screws that go there. So I'm not sure where that went, or if I'm gonna have to make one, or what's going on, but it's not a super complicated piece. I think it just wires off of this. So I hope so, but I should be able to install this with this in there. So I put all this together, so hopefully I'm able to just take that bolt out and then put the bracket on, and then button this back section up. There isn't going to be an armrest here, so I'm going to try to find a way to cover this, or I'm not sure, but make it look a little bit nicer. My race car, this is what it looks like in my race car, something similar to that. In fact, I think I still have the little round things where the pivot point for the armrest is. So I really appreciate everybody so much for watching. We are a fuel cell away from running. Right now, we're just kind of doing some finishing touches. We're going to figure out what we're going to be doing with the door cards and things like that. Thanks for liking and subscribing. We'll see everybody in the next video.
Bam!